COP30 talks stumble as fossil fuel language is dropped from draft deal the UN Climate Summit. COP30, currently underway in Belém, Brazil, faces a critical impasse as negotiations near their conclusion. A key sticking point is the removal of any explicit mention of fossil fuels from the latest draft agreement. This development underscores the deep divisions among nations regarding the pace and scope of action needed to address climate change, with the world's largest polluters digging in their heels. The fossil fuel dispute, the central conflict, revolves around whether the summit should commit nations to stronger, faster reductions in fossil fuel use. Emissions from oil, coal, and gas remain the dominant driver of global warming, yet several major players are resisting firm commitments. Negotiators inside the talks describe the situation as fraught, with intense disagreements blocking progress. The resistance comes from a coalition led by oil-producing countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and India, as well as some emerging economies. France's Environment Minister, Monique Barbot, has directly accused these nations of blocking the deal. Major players DIG in the UK and Brazil are among those pushing for more ambitious action, advocating for a roadmap to phase out fossil fuels. UK Energy Secretary Ed Miliband has emphasized the urgency, stating that future generations will judge whether this generation rises to the climate challenge. However, the current draft deal falls far short of this ambition. The prior COP28 agreement in Dubai committed countries to transition away from fossil fuels, but lacked concrete timelines or enforcement mechanisms. More than 80 nations now seek a stronger commitment, but are facing resistance. A question of finance, the dispute extends beyond fossil fuels, with disagreements over climate finance. A draft proposal calls for tripling financial aid to developing nations by 2030, but fails to specify whether this funding will come from richer countries or private sources. This ambiguity could further anger poorer nations, who already feel shortchanged by past agreements. What this means, the absence of fossil fuel language in the draft deal, is a setback for climate action. It highlights the enduring influence of fossil fuel interests in international negotiations and underscores the challenges of securing meaningful commitments from all parties. The summit's outcome will be closely watched as it sets the tone for global climate policy in the years to come. The failure to agree on a clear path away from fossil fuels raises serious doubts about the world's ability to meet its climate goals, and could lead to more severe consequences for those most vulnerable to rising temperatures.